All right, Jordan, arrow pointing up. I will let you go first.
Yeah, for me, arrow pointing up, we'll do a few here. Arrow pointing up, we're recording this Wednesday afternoon, so this pretty much just happened as we're recording this. Arrow pointing up the Hayes brothers.
Mm-hmm.
Jarvis Hayes had joined the Georgia basketball coaching staff last week, and then Jonas Hayes follows suit. And I think those are two big additions. It's pretty wild. When you go back to when Tom Crean was fired, there were people who were really pushing for Jonas Hayes to be considered for that head coaching opportunity. And I'm sure his name came up and he was at least considered. Really love these additions for Mike White, for Georgia. One, you get guys who know Georgia well, but two, these guys can recruit the state super well. Jarvis has a son that's coming up in the 2027 class, a very talented shooting guard. Love these additions for Georgia. And we're just talking about, UGA legacies in that same vein, bringing guys back who played at Georgia. I think it means something special when you get that opportunity. So super cool to see both of those guys. Excited to see them in Stegman Coliseum again come the season.
It just feels like one that's right. Like I know that there were people that wanted him so badly when the previous head coaching opening was open. So I know it didn't work out exactly the way that he would have liked after that, but I think him getting home, Georgia getting him home, I think everyone's got to be happy with that.
Arrow pointing up Atlanta Braves. Going into this week, they were the only team in MLB that had not lost a series. So, very much enjoying that. Like what I've seen. Honestly, I haven't gotten to watch a ton of games to this point, but I like what I've watched. And Dominic Smith is my guy. He's a new guy on this team. Knocking just crushing the ball right now and doing a great job. And a very exciting story, and he's got to root for. He lost his mom during spring training, and he basically said he didn't really want to talk about it publicly because he wanted the focus to be on his game and making this team. And he's done that and then some. And haven't had a chance to go to Truist yet this year, but and I got to mention too, Walt Weiss.
Yeah.
I became a believer when he tackled Jorge Soler. Like I was iffy on the hire. I warmed up to it. Once I saw the coaching staff he put in. Now, Ben, I'll say it. I would die for Walt Weiss after the Jorge Soler incident.
The whole Jorge Soler thing, it was just so bizarre because I think Braves fans would die for Jorge Soler. And then, he's getting in this beef with a pitcher who wasn't even on those teams. So it's like they don't know each other as well. And then I think Walt Weiss is maybe the only person ever in baseball history to tackle the hitter and serve no repercussions whatsoever. It was the most like everyone just understands what the situation is. One, we've got a black belt that knows just how to defuse the situation, but also like Jorge Soler loves Walt Weiss and Walt Weiss loves Jorge Soler. So it was crazy, but then when you like really put the microscope on it, it's like just sort of this weird dynamic that was unfolding with all of that. I'll also add, because I was going to have it for my arrow pointing up as well, just Atlanta sports in general. We killed them on the podcast a couple of weeks ago. We said Atlanta sports are dead. There's nothing to be excited about. Braves are now the last team in baseball to lose a series, as you said, and the Hawks now aren't even in the play-in for the first time. I mean, they're playing in a playoff series without having to play in the play-in for the first time since they made that Eastern Conference Finals run. So things are looking up for Atlanta sports in a way that we just totally wrote them off a few weeks ago.
I think what you mean to say is you're welcome.
Yeah.
That's we're the spark they needed. Only other thing I'll say, arrow pointing up, continued international travel for Dogs 24/7. Kip is in Japan right now. This is the first Stay Woke we've done since I got back from Mexico. Went to Riviera Maya and Merida. Had a fantastic time. Ate a ton of really good food. That was the first time I've been to Mexico. Very much enjoyed it. Great time. Nice to kind of recharge the battery, and very much enjoyed that. And hoping Kip, one, is not listening to this. If he's doing that, I'm going to be very upset. But two, that he enjoys his international travel as well.
And if you are listening to this, Kip, keep posting things from Japan because I have enjoyed living vicariously. A region of the world I've never been to. I've seen you share some of your wife's things on Instagram as well. So keep doing that so that I can keep seeing what Japan's all about. All right, arrow pointing up. I hate to do this, Jordan, but you brought it up on the Junkyard Dawgcast earlier in the week. Arrow pointing up on you because for the second year in a row, we have a couple 24/7, some non 24/7 guys that get together for a Masters pool. I got to brag all last week that I was there, but you now, like Rory McIlroy, have won back-to-back years in the pool. I'm not sure anything in my life makes me more disgusted than that fact over the last several months at the very least. But credit to you, as well as credit to Rory McIlroy for what was a very enjoyable Sunday of at Augusta National.
I think the thing you sent in our group was, why do good things happen to bad people? And I mean, just leave it at that.
Yeah, I know. I couldn't have said it better myself, Jordan. All right. Arrow pointing up. I'll bring this one up for fans. We've talked G-Day on both shows. I know Jordan mentioned it, but I know what's going to happen. Saturday, come around 1 p.m. Everyone's going to be saying, where's the spring game? Where's G-Day? So arrow pointing up on ESPN Plus and SEC Network Plus. That's where you can get the Georgia spring game. I know that people were upset they weren't able to watch it last year. There is an opportunity for you to be able to watch it this year, so don't miss out, because there's only few opportunities for you to be able to watch Georgia scrimmage or practice in this capacity. And I also don't want the March Madness True TV thing happening where March Madness starts and people are saying, why can't I find True TV on my channel guide? It's like, we have some time. Figure out how you're going to see SEC Network Plus or ESPN Plus.
I just realized I went back home for a couple of days, and I should have just logged in for my dad, because I know probably about 10:30, 11 a.m. I'll be headed to the stadium, and I'm going to see I have 3 missed calls, because I'm going to need probably about an hour to walk him through logging in.
And then the other arrow pointing up that I will do a little bit of career news. I'll be staying at 24/7 Sports. If anyone hasn't seen this on social or on Dogs 24/7, I'm going to be at 24/7 Sports for the long haul. Just re-signed my new contract. So super excited to still be on board. I actually had, you don't need enemies when you've got friends like I have. I had some friends that sent me a screen. I hadn't even seen this, but someone sent me a screenshot of our podcast, our Apple podcast. One of our biggest audiences is Apple Podcasts. And sometimes we'll ask you guys like, hey, subscribe it, give us a 5-star rating, leave us a positive review. And I'm never actually expecting people to stop their day, or if they're at the gym listening to it or whatever, to stop right there and go review it. But we had one person, this was from like 10 months ago, so I hadn't seen this, but someone screenshotted it and sent it to me. Travi B33. I'm giving a shout out to Travi B33. The headline of the 1-star review that he gave us is Ben is terrible. And then Ben has ruined the show for me. Hard to listen to now. Went back to BA and Dog Nation. Shout out BA and Dog Nation, our guy Brandon Adams. Not a bad take from you, Travi B33, to be listening to Brandon Adams. We love Brandon Adams over here. For anybody that's listening to this, please, I can't have 100 other Travi B33s out there. I need someone, maybe 5 of you. If I could ask 5 of you to give us a 5-star review, you don't even have to compliment me. Just give us a 5-star review. Compliment Jordan. I don't necessarily advise that, but compliment Jordan, compliment Kip, whatever you got to do. But I can't be the reason that we're getting these 1-star reviews. So somebody step up to the plate. I just re-signed my contract, so unfortunately for Travi B33, he's going to have to keep listening to me for a little while. But when the time comes up that I'm having to go through this again, I can't be, I had to fight tooth and nail with 24/7 management and say, Travi B33 is just one. He's one guy. I swear not everybody feels that way. So he hurt me a little bit in my recent contract negotiations, but somebody else go out there and save the day for Jordan or Kip or whoever it is when they're going through theirs.
Yeah, I was gonna say arrow pointing up Travi B, but no, I'm super excited for you. I was gonna try to sneak it in toward the end of the podcast to shout it out, but super glad you're sticking around, and I think we've got a good team right now. And as far as I know, I don't see anything changing anytime soon.
No, I know. I'm pumped about it. I love what we've got going over at Dogs 24/7 in particular, but also what we're doing with the national team on the recruiting side of things as well.